All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders, Great Millstone, who teach very well. Brought up this truth from and salutation out there to the hopeful elect who out there teaching his word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And also, shalom to all the men, women, and children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And now today, man, I named this video, it is not a random event, World War III. Because hey, it was already biblically prophesied before it was going to actually come to pass, man. You know, the Lord spoke of these things before it happened. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and start right here in the book of Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 42, and I'm going to jump down to verse 9. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Right there, read this one more time. It says, Isaiah 42 and verse 9, it says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. So before these different prophecies and these different things happen, because for lack of better words, the ICBM nuclear missiles, which the Lord have prepared for America, this is something that the world have never seen. This is a new thing. But before that new thing actually was made manifest, the prophets seen it, man. And what the prophets do with that information, they reported it and recorded it in the scripts, man. You know? Matter of fact, let's go right here, because ultimately the Lord have prophesied the downfall of Esau's kingdom from the beginning. We just playing it out in real life. We're playing out the end, because after World War III, the missiles dropped, Babylon burned. Do you know that's going to be the beginning of the kingdom of heaven? This is the reason why brothers are always talking about destruction. Brothers are always talking about war. Brothers anticipating all hell to break loose. You know why? Because after all this shit happened, the kingdom of heaven shall come, man. You know? It's a saying that people say in the world, in order to go to heaven, you must go through hell. In order for it to be peace, you must go through war. And there's going to be an ultimate war that's going to happen upon the planet Earth, man. You know? And then one of the ultimate war is World War III. You know? Let's go ahead and get this real quick in Isaiah 46 and verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning. And right there, it shows you, even, it tells you in Genesis, when Shiloh comes, which is actually mentioned Yahweh Shai, because when Yahweh Shai comes, it's going to be everlasting peace. But even when you go into the Old Testament as a whole, certain prophecies in the Old Testament wasn't fulfilled yet, man. Yeah, we know Isaiah 9 and 6 was fulfilled. What about Isaiah 9 and 5? Let's get this real quick before I jump back to this Isaiah. This Isaiah 9 and verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Now that's talking about, in the ancient world, it just be swords and shields. Now you hear the scream of somebody crying, you hear the clacking of swords coming together, the buckling, the armor. Two shields hitting each other. You hear these things, but once you go into World War I, which that was a important part of history. That's why it's called the Great War, because it changed war as we know it. Weaponry, again, they got the machine guns, and showing you that Esau's blessed with the sword and how he actually increased his blessing, ever since Genesis, man. But going back to World War I, it changed war. And in World War I compared to World War II, it was a jump of the technology. It was a jump of the death. It was a jump of how people got put to death for the lack of better words. The Lord was showing you that he's prepping these devils for the third woe. I'm going to read this one more time. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this one is talking about World War III shall be with burning and fuel of fire, man. And what is burning and fuel of fire doing in the Old Testament, man? You know why it's doing that? Because the Lord told you that he was going to burn this place from the beginning. Going back to Isaiah 46 verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning. From ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Because a part of the Lord's counsel is the destruction of America, man. You know, a part of the Lord's counsel is World War III. Matter of fact, let's get in Joel real quick. You know, because I got an article to basically back it up. The Bible is full of lamentations, mourning, and woes, man. It's not Psalms 23. It's not the whole chapter, man. It's not the whole book, man. You know, people think Psalms 23 is gonna be here, it's gonna be that. No, man. When you actually read the Bible, for the lack of better words, it's a lot of judgment going on. Let's get this. Joel 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. And as you can see, the title, the nations will be judged. You know, and a part of the nations being judged is World War III, man, because it's not going to be like we're going to have a spot there. Yeah, 2/3 are going to be there, but it's not like it's going to be a representation of the Israelites. No, man. What these different nations and heathens doing, they're trying to jock for position. They can see that Esau, you know, the so-called white man, Babylon the Great, they can see that this kingdom is falling and they're pushing for position. They're trying to see who's the next ones up. But like it says in the book of Psalms, you heathen are imagining the vain thing because it's not meant for you to, get everlasting rulership or get power. Everybody had their turn to rule. And for the lack of better words, you guys didn't rule correctly. Let's go ahead and read this book of Joel 3. And I'm going to start at verse Salakia. Yep, Joel 3, and I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. And a part of these people preparing war is what? Prepping missiles, submarines, and even doing strategic spots, strategic hot spots, like Russia. Russia trying to take down Ukraine, which they going to do it, to have that pipeline, to even have an easy access to these different NATO and EU countries, So whether you know it or not, niggas are so wrapped up with, the college football game. Niggas right now are already preparing for Thanksgiving. They preparing for Christmas. They preparing for Halloween. But these leaders out here, they preparing for war, man. Read this one more time. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. The prophets are speaking this into existence. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Yes, because these different nations are going to gather together in the battle of Yehoshaphat, man. In the Middle East, because it's not going to be no peace in the Middle East until the Lord dropped them bombs, man. Let's continue on at verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hook into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And yes, instead of these guys going into their agriculture, we're going to put $1 billion into Hollywood. No, man. They're putting all their money in weaponry. A perfect example, Rocky Man over there in North Korea. He's starved people out, killed people, had strict laws and legislations. Certain resources didn't come in, certain resources didn't go out. Why? Because he was planning to make a damn bomb, man. And it got to a point he's kind of, he's kind of cocky by himself. He wants somebody to say something to use those missiles, man. Continuing on at verse 11, though. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Yes, because Yahweh Shema Rashai, he's the one that's actually making these things happen. Every time somebody talks about World War III, for lack of better words, biblical have to come in there, man. Because actually the World War III is biblical. Matter of fact, if I continue on, let's get this in Revelations 11. Revelations 11 verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Now that second woe is talking about World War II. Because once you go into that World War, it goes into destruction. And World War II was like a war that the world have never seen before. World War One was like a war that the world never seen before. Then you go into World War II, which was even more deadly. And what World War II ended off on? It ended off on a bomb getting dropped on the gooks. So imagine how World War III is going to be. And that's why it says it's coming quickly. Because even though, so man, that was over 70 years ago. Nigga, you ain't on the most high time, man. You know what I'm saying? Because in the eyes of the Most High, it's just like this. And even the Cold War, that was a part of World War III, for lack of better words. These different, America and Russia, both of them had nuclear military might. They had missiles, and they cried down the grumblers. You think they really? If we just gonna we're gonna all our investments, the billions and trillions of dollars that we invested in this iron, we just gonna throw it away? No, man, they ain't throw those things away. They still are in progress, man. They still are in what's the word I'm looking for? They locked and loaded. That's the best way I can say it. So that third war is gonna come quickly. That third destruction is gonna end up with what? World War III. But World War III is not just gonna happen like in a snap of a finger. No, it has to be a build up into it, man. That's why the name of the video is "This is not a random event." Everything that Yahweh shall do and say and push forth is calculated, man. And if you don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you're not going to know where you at in prophecy, man. Because if you can see the prophecy that's going on, the sea hip, these devils trying to transfer into a digital society, after that sea hip get made mandated, the next thing to look for is World War III. Read this again. It says Joel 3 in verse 11. Matter of fact, verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hook into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So guys like North Korea, even India, man. And now I've read a little something up. It was South America. They had missiles before. No coincidence that South America is about part of BRICS. But I think around the 1980s, South America had the weapons of mass destruction. And for lack of better words, once everybody on the block have the same weapon, everybody's on the same level. That's why everybody is thumbing their nose up at America. Because once you shoot yours off, they're going to shoot theirs off. Continuing on, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened. Yes, because they're not in that docile state of being so fucking lost in America, man. No. they woken up into who the devil was, man. And basically they woken up into the will of Yahweh Shemai. It says, and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, the heavenly Father's judgment. It says, for there will I sit and judge all the heathen round about. And the Lord is going to judge you through fire. You know why it says in Isaiah the 66th chapter, with fire and the sword with the Lord, plead with all flesh. But real quick, I have an article. It's just an article on Salakia. This is an article from the UCSUSA.org, and it's called Nuclear Weapons Worldwide. And it says nuclear weapons are still here, and there's still an external risk, for lack of better words. Basically, they think it's going to be the extinction. The whole planet world is going to be taken down. No, man. Actually, though, nuclear weapons is going to be a gateway into the world of righteousness. That's why it says that in the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. Matter of fact, let's get that. This is the book of 2 Peter 3. Please bear marking. Yep, 2 Peter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. How would the elements melt with fervent heat? Through that nuclear fire, man. Continuing on, though. It says, The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up, because the Lord is going to do a clean slate, just like he did in the time of Noah, you know, with the flood, to cleanse the wickedness from the planet earth and start all over again. The Lord's going to do the same thing again, but with fire. And these Americans, especially, are part of that crazy society that wave around the rainbow flag. The only thing you're doing is reminding the Lord that he's not going to destroy this place with water. You're just reminding the Lord that he's going to destroy this place with fire, man. Let's continue on in verse 11. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, you see all these things are going to be burnt up. What manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Yes, because you can see that this place is temporal, but the place that the Lord have for us ahead is eternal. Continuing on, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Yes, because guess what? After the nuclear missiles hit, it's going to be a new heaven, a new earth. What does that mean? A new kingdom, a new rulership, a new government of righteousness. The kingdom of heaven is not going to be set up like this. Number one, is a woman here. She's sitting on the council. The kingdom of heaven is not going to be like that, man. Send her down to the woman council, you know? But at the same time, the kingdom of heaven is not going to be ran like this governmental society, not like this out society. Now, this is why these places fucked up, because these people don't know how to rule. Wait until the Lord put us in power, man. In the law, statutes, and commandments be embedded in us. We're going to show these nations how to rule, man. And you're going to appreciate Yahweh Shemai in the kingdom of heaven. I'm talking about these nations, man. They're going to appreciate what the Lord did for them by taking down Esau and bringing up the nation of Israel. And that's what we're looking for, man. We're not looking for money, cars, clothes, and hoes. Man, we're looking for salvation and deliverance from this wicked ass place. Let's read a little bit of this article. It says 9 countries possesses nuclear weapons. United States, Russia, France, China, the United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. Now, those are 9 countries. You know, some are in cahoots with each other, like America, France in the UK, and also Russia, China, and Pakistan. You know, they in cahoots with each other. But for the lack of better words, Yahweh Shemai Rashai, he's setting up, you know, these different nations that have these nuclear weapons to be used. They wasn't made in vain. Oppenheimer, it wasn't no coincidence that he had, you know, I watched the movie. It was a beautiful movie. It's no coincidence that the Lord put the spirit in him to create the missiles, man. You know? He didn't do that just to get a hunk of steel and throw it away. No, they was used to actually be put in use. It says in total, the global nuclear stockpile is close to 13,000 weapons. While the number is lower than it was during the Cold War, where there were roughly 60,000 weapons worldwide. It does not alter the fundamental threat to humanity these weapons represent. Now you think you gonna put away your weapons, I'm gonna put away mine. Man, these devils lying. They just don't report it. Perfect coincidence, a perfect point. These people in Israel, they got not Israel, Salakia. I think that's Iran, if I'm not mistaken. They have a place called Missile City. Now, number one, do you think they are the only ones that have Missile City? You don't think they send their allies, the people they close with? Yeah, we're gonna give y'all this just in case the Americans act up, you know, just in case the Americans hit us. Make sure you hit them. You see what I'm saying? For the lack of better words, these things and the way that the Lord have these countries coming together, you know, the BRICS nations versus NATO, you know, the BRICS nations versus EU, America versus Russia. That's not for GP, man. It's all going to be a build-up into hellfire. Continuing on, for example, the warheads on just one U.S. nuclear-armed submarine have 7 times the destructive power of all the bombs dropped during World War II, including the 2 atomic bombs dropped on Japan. And the United States has 10 of those submarines at sea. Now they basically bragging on their weaponry, just like a modern day niggas on Facebook showing their guns. That's what America be doing. And rightfully so. The Lord did bless these guys with the sword, but not everybody have the sword. That's why it says, let the weak say, I am strong. Continuing on. Moreover, nearly all the major nuclear powers, including the United States, Russia, and China, are significantly increasing their nuclear arsenals in size, capability. Both this they going in size and capability, or both. So they basically putting more warheads in them, making it bigger, or they're making it faster. That's why the Lord said he's going to sharpen his sword. It's not no such thing. I mean, it's no coincidence that they just made a hypersonic nuclear missile, man. And that hypersonic nuclear missile, it wasn't just made just to look good, just to sound good, and just so you can look at the graphics. No, it was made to be put in use. That's why it says now significantly, because they can feel the heat in the air tonight, like Phil Collins, man. Increasing their nuclear arsenal in size, capability, or both. This growing new arms race is raising the risk of nuclear war. Right there. So automatically, this is not just no random event like all of a sudden World War III going to happen out of the blue. No, it's a build up, man. And if you didn't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear, you're gonna be locked out for the lack of better words of what's going on. And this is pretty much it on this article. Just tell you what type of bombs they have and things like that, But at the same time, through the spirit, everybody have the, nuclear weapon technology now. America is not just the big dog anymore. He can't go over and, elbow his way into the front. No, man. He have to be careful. And ultimately, he's just going to continue to be proud. He's going to continue to be, edge his way into the front. Think he's the top guy. Think he's going to rule forever. Until ultimately, the Lord bring him down, man. Because that's what he's going to do. Because the missiles, even though they're going to get shot across the whole world, one of the main spots that they're going to get hit is over here in the West, the Wild West, man. Let's get this in the book of Isaiah 34, and I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Number one, where the sword went up in the sky. That sword is talking about what? An ICBM nuclear missile. It says, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. You go into that. That's a Greek word of saying Edom. Now, what is modern day Edom? What is the head society or the head, the head capital city of the so-called white man? America. It says, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So ultimately, that's what the Lord is going to use the ICBM nuclear missiles to judge you people. Matter of fact, let's jump up to verse 4. It says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's a nuclear war mushroom head right there, man. Once they land, they come up a mushroom cloud. It says, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off the vine, and as the falling fig from the fig tree. So it's going to be an aerial attack what the Lord is going to use to take this place down, and rightfully so, because that's the same way you got into power. That's going to be the same way Yahweh Shema Shah is going to put you out of power. The same way you got to get on top is going to be the same steps you're going to have to walk to get down. Because the reason why the Western society got the main power, even a dollar, the control of the dollar, the reason why America got the control of the, U.S., the world economy, is because after World War II, they dropped that bomb. Brent said, yeah, now you guys got the juice. Now you can, have all the money. Let's get this real quick. This is the book of Psalm 7. And I'm going to jump down to verse 12. It says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. Right there, he went his sword. It's like sharpening up. He have bent his bow and made it ready. Because these different silos, and warheads and, nuclear missiles, they already locked and loaded. They just wait on the will of Yahweh Shema Shai. Continuing on, he hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against his persecutors. And because guess what? The missiles is aimed at America, man. because everybody hate this place now. Real quick, I'm gonna jump back. This is the book of Jeremiah 51 and verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon. Babylon is America, man. And against all them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, because everybody who dwell in Babylon, who love this place, whether you love the LGBTQ or whether you love Beyonce, you rising up against the Lord, man. It says a destroying wind. That destroying wind is a representation of the nuclear missiles, because it's a such thing called the aftershock. Let's continue on though. And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about, because ultimately the spirit is setting up the Lord, the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah is setting up these different nations, to fight, to come to war, and to ultimately have their missiles set up towards this place, man. Because everybody is sick of this place known as Babylon the Great, man, whether you know it or not. Let's continue on. Against him that bendeth, let his archer bend his bow. Against him that lifted himself up in the bridgegon, and spare ye not her young men, destroying utterly all her hosts. So when the missiles get shot off, it's not like they're gonna spare niggas. Are you cool? No, man. When the missiles get shot off, if you're not on those chariots, for lack of better words, you're gonna get hit with some fire. You're going to get hit with that heat. And ultimately, the reason why a lot of niggas going to get hit with that heat, because they forgot about Yahweh Shema Shai, and they were so blinded into what's going on. You didn't know that war always happened. War have always been around, but niggas so wrapped up in gender norms, man. And you know what I'm saying? Pronouns. Yeah, you can be a him, her, you can be a they, them, but that's how you're going to die. It's a new thing called Zim, Zer, Z, which basically, I believe that's Esau fucking with niggas, but niggas doing that shit, man. That's why the Lord is going to have to destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Because just like in the time of Genesis, the Lord is going to have to do the same thing today. Because it tells you that in the time of Genesis, it says wickedness was increasingly across the whole planet Earth, and it displeased the Lord. And the only thing that the Lord said, paraphrasing, it displeased me, I have to destroy both man and beast. I have to kill these niggas, man. Why? Because you're going the wrong way. And ultimately, everybody that's following after this beast system is going the wrong way, man. And that's why if you continue to love this place and follow after this place, you're going to die in this place, man. It says, verse 4, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, the magic city. That's what they call Birmingham, Alabama, the magic city. But, Chaldeans, they were synonymous with sorcery and witchcraft, and America is the same. It says, if they that are thrust through in her streets, because hey, you join into her, you're going to be thrust through. So let's go back to Psalm 7. Psalm 7 and verse 13. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Yes, he ordained his arrows against the persecutor. A part of Esau being the persecutor is him fucking what? Being raped, robbing, murdering the whole planet Earth. And you think the Lord is going to sit back and let you get away with it? No. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He hath made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. Yes, the same footsteps you walked up is going to be the same way you fall down. Like hanging. You made gallows to hang Mordecai. Guess what? You're going to get hanged by those same gallows. It says his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. Yes, because ultimately the ICBM nuclear missiles is going to get you back. You're going to reap what you sow. You reap death, destruction, and bloodshed throughout the planet Earth. You're going to get that right back. That's the way you got into power. That's going to, the same door you had to come in, there's going to be the same door you're going to go out, man. You can't go out the window. Let's get one more precept for our close. Let's get that Isaiah 13, just showing that Yahweh Shema Shai, he's in control of these missiles, and he is the one that's making this thing happen, man. It's the book of Spirit prophecies about Babylon. Matter of fact, I'm starting at verse 1. Prophecies about Babylon. And that's what it is, because every time the prophet came on the scene, he was preaching about lamentations, mourning, and woes, man. And no different about this kingdom, America. Even time in the Roman Empire, you know, the Mashiachim was out there preaching the word. Ultimately, Nero got mad and, you know, came down with great wrath. It's going to be the same thing again. This Isaiah 13:1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt your voice, shake the hand, they may go into the gates of the nobles. So this is basically Yahweh Shema Shai telling you, prophesy, man. And prophesy on the highways and byways, get on, you know, the internet, give diligence to make that calling election sure, so the elites can hear this word. Because let's say if, okay, look, John can't get it, but I bet you Jacob Rothschild get it. He's trying to make any and everything possible that I make those things happen, man. That's why it's a burden upon Babylon. This is a burden upon the least, knowing that Esau is going to be taken down and you're going to go into slavery, and the same ones you had in slavery is going to be over you. You know? Continuing on at verse 3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger. Let's see what those mighty ones for his anger is. Even them that rejoice in my highness, because those mighty ones in his anger is those ICBM nuclear missiles. It tells that in the book of Joel how when they get shot out, they're not going to break their ranks. Why? Because the spirit of the Lord is going to be in them, man. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, because they're going to be your army of the Lord. You know, the Lord of hosts, the Lord of Sabaoth, going back to it, goes back into the Lord of armies, man. And those nuclear missiles are going to be a part of the indignation of the Lord's army. It says the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. There's going to be missiles from Russia, missiles from the UK, missiles from India. Boom, you know what I'm saying? Coming together, because it's going to be loud as hell once they get shot off, and especially as they get closer and closer, man. You know how you can hear an airplane? Imagine 1 million of them motherfuckers in the sky. 1 trillion of them motherfuckers in the sky, and they getting louder and louder, man. It says the Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So it's going to be Yahweh Shema Shai who's going to be in the driver's seat, man. He's the one that's making these things happen. He's the one that created the missiles. He didn't create them in vain. No, he created them to put Esau out of power, but to also bring in the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of righteousness. Continuing on, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Yes, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation. And the reason why it says they come from a far country, because those ICBM nuclear missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, they come from continent. They go to continent to continent, man. They ain't like the V2 missile in World War II, where you have to get, you know what I'm saying, 4,000 miles in, you know, not 4, no, within 100, 300, or 400 miles. No, you can snipe somebody from a push of a button, man. That's why I said earlier, through the spirit, war have changed. Basically, the technology and things have been more and more advanced. Now people is fighting wars through a controller stick. Nigga do a drone strike and he just sent back in chilos. Read this one more time, though. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Yes, to destroy the whole land of America, which this place was the place of wickedness. This is what wickedness be exalted. Wickedness is cool. And ultimately, if you don't follow after that wickedness, then you're going to be demonized. But just like it was in the time, Noah didn't fit in that time, man. Noah hated that place. That's the reason why they was scoffing against Noah. That's the reason why Noah was contrary and he was holy or separate from those niggas. While he was building the arks, they was niggering it up, you know? So the same thing today, bro. Let's continue on. Verse 6, it says, judgment on the day of the Lord. How ye? For the day of the Lord is at hand, and it shall come as destruction from the Almighty. Yes. It's going to be destruction, man. Like it says in Isaiah 66, it says, with fire and with sword will the Lord plead with all men. This, because like Apostle Kabal always say, with words can't teach, adversity will. Niggas don't want to hearken now, but you're going to hearken when those missiles get shot off. Now it's going to be too late. You don't want to hearken now, but once the famine and everything comes, it's going to be too late, man. So yeah, I can just pray this video was edifying. I want to say, call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakadash, Shalom, DTA, and the Bible.